Turning Tai Chi steps into exercise is intriguing, and it's something that we've all taught the Tai Chi step as part of teaching postures. But Darci Alexander is a physical therapy assistant from Visalia, California, known for her exceptional work with balanced patients. She shared with me that the PTs in her practice usually didn't want to spend so much time with the balanced people, and they would give them all to her, which she loved and got tons of fabulous experience from working with so many. Uh, she's known for bringing the power of evidence-based Tai Chi exercise into the clinic. Darci's been a master trainer since 2017, coming up soon on the 10-year anniversary. Darci's devoted her life to joy, healing, and making Tai Chi for health accessible to as many people as possible. She's conducted her own clinical study using the TCA program, which deepened her passion for sharing Dr. Lamb's programs. To learn more about Darci's inspiring Tai Chi path, how she began, what motivates her, and the results of her own clinical study, you can visit her profile on the TCHI website. That's tchi.org, as you probably know, or connect with her at taichiblessings.com. And I'll put that into the chat box so that you all have it. So I'd like to turn it over to Darci Alexander and turning Tai Chi steps into exercise.
Hello, my dear friends and Tai Chi family. I am so honored to be here today with you. And it's going to be a very practical and fun session. And you get to move with me if you don't mind pretending you're a new student to feel things in a new way. We're going to take the moves from the Tai Chi for Arthritis program and turn them into stepping exercises or stepping patterns that really give them a heads up or a leg up on the moves even before you teach them. So right away, I'm going to introduce first of all the bow stance. And Dr. Lamb talks about like a hip width railroad, mini railroad track. So he wants us to have two fist widths in between our feet. And I have found that students find that a difficult thing to accomplish, whether it's bow stance or sidestepping, to keep that two fist width distance. So we're gonna actually have fun today, and I'm gonna share with you my tips. And if you want to start standing up right away, you can join me. So I'm gonna this down so you can see I have tape on the floor as my mini hip width. Um, there it's about a foot distance and it's two fist widths for myself. You're welcome. This is what I call in my classes home base, because the only time we start out with a narrow base of support is commencement and closing. So I teach them home base, and that is our two fist width or what's comfortable for them. If they're used to a very narrow stance all their life, I want them to work on at least if I'm able to put one shoe in between their feet. So I teach them home base, and then next I want to teach them the bow stance, which is that bow and arrow stance. So if I stand with my feet, not like commencement, but I stand with my feet at 11 and 1 o'clock, and I shift to one side and I put down a heel without weight and I give it some width. Then I have a melt it down straight ahead in our warm-ups. So I'm teaching them bow stance in the punch, the knee exercise. Bring it back slightly angled. Do it with me if you'd like. Place the heel down without weight. You can pick it up short and wide and then melt it down straight forward. And then slowly add some weight so the knee is over the ankle and the punch comes straight from the shoulder, bringing it back. So that's the only warm up we're going to do today is this one, but I find it so valuable to teach a lot of concepts that are difficult for them to understand. So it deepens their practice, gets them ready for extension moves and what's to come in a fun way. So how I turn this into the follow stepping practice, I have them short and wide, step forward, and then I'll turn sideways so you can see. This is the 70-30% weight, and my heel stays down for the punch, so you're not going too far ahead. Coming back, right? That's 70 and 30% back here. If I were to go 100% of my weight in the front leg, then I have a high heel. And high heels we know are not stable and good for a martial art or a health balance practice. So we're going to lower that down. And just so that it's an inch off the floor, still no weight, step back, and then the toe comes up in front, and I want to put down the ball of the foot right where the heel was. So then I'm teaching them the follow step before the extension moves. We can add it in after they're done if they need a bridge to the extension moves. They're not ready to go on to the extension moves. And this way they're getting ready, they're getting leg strength, because what's really in their muscle memory is the waltz, right? It's too close. They come up too close for their follow step. And that follow step is supposed to stay behind and just lower down that heel. So that is that boxing stance. So it might not be forward and back. Sometimes it's going to be a little more out to the side for width of stability. So you've heard of sensing hands in push hands. We're really teaching them sensing feet, sensing stability. Where is stability? So I'm going to do an exercise with you right now after I teach them this. I can, and before I go on to the extension moves with brush knee to the left, I'm going to do this exercise. Dr. Lamb does it right in the lesson of Play the Lute. So what if you have a group of elderly students or participants who aren't ready to go on to the extension moves? But you want them to get the benefit of the Soon style follow stepping for stability, for agility, leg strengthening, all those wonderful benefits. And you don't want to have to wait forever till they're ready for the extension moves. It can make a really nice bridge or a standalone exercise. So we're going to take that, follow me from behind. It's a little bit easier. Our feet are going to be at 11 and 1 o'clock, and I'm going to change directions with it. So we're going to get on the right leg this time, heel, nice with width. We're going to shift forward and see my high heel. We're going to lower that down an inch and then step back. Shift back, sit back, and put the ball of the foot down where the heel was. We'll do 2 more times. High heel gets lowered. It's still behind. Step back, and then the ball gets lowered down. Step forward, and then back. The ball comes down. I'm going to turn to the corner now, which will get them ready for brush knee. I'm going to kind of go to the diagonal, place it heading that direction, and I'm going to kick that foot out. So I have wide stability, wider boxing stance. So here it goes. Step back, ball of the foot comes down, step to the corner, high heel gets lowered, step back, ball of the foot goes down where the heel was. Now, in brush knee, Dr. Lamb says step to the back of the room. If this was the front, that's my back. I'm going to widen it towards the back of the room, facing the new wall. Now, this is a narrower stance. I'm going to kick it out to the side. So I'm really sensing feet for stability. And that's where that boxing stance comes from, that follow step. Lower the heel, step back, lower the ball. So it can be towards the edges, right? I'm keeping that stable stance. So you can do it to the other side, the other foot forward, go to that corner and that new wall, making it an exercise in and of itself, that follow step. So in Play the Lute, Dr. Lamb does he shows it. He shows it as an exercise. He does it a few times, but I have added the directional change to get them ready for that brush knee. So from here, we're going to think about waving hands as a follow step, believe it or not. So when we learn side stepping in the gym, it's out and in, right? Out and in, and that's in their muscle memory too. So what we want them to do is learn home base, and they're going to step out of home base and then feel the tension and then just release the tension, relaxing it back down under the hip instead of thinking in. So I shift the weight, I step one footprint out of hip width. I don't have to step far, but I feel tension here, and I'm going to release the tension as a follow step. So I can introduce the concept so much sooner than when we go to the extension moves. So here we go, release the tension, and it's a follow step back to home base. So you can practice with me the other side, stepping out one footprint. I feel tension. I'm going to release the tension back down under the hip, transfer the weight, place the foot, transfer the weight. I feel the tension. I want to come back to home base. I don't want to get too narrow. It's all about stability. Stepping out, transferring the weight, release it back down under the hips. So you can introduce this concept of the follow step, and they're going to be sensing feet, sensing stability. So instead of rushing on to the extension moves, you don't have to. You can be practicing these stepping patterns after their warm-ups or after, practicing their basic six to both sides. It gives them a chance to really get the basic six into their bones, and then they're sensing foot stability. You can also add principles to their basic set before moving on to those extension moves. So these are all great. You don't have to rush, 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 make it all 12 lessons, just for your information. So I'm going to also go on to the extension moves now, and I'm going to take the Parry step. A lot of you know the Parry step is, let's see, this and this. And if we take it if we're learning it in our form in the extension moves, we get to do one parry, and then we're on to the punch, on to another move. So we don't really get to use it as a meditative walking practice, and it's all over the internet right now about how Tai Chi walking is so beneficial. So we're going to make this a moving meditation, and we're going to learn to hold our horses, as Dr. Lamb, I've heard him say before. And we're going to add a touch step to feel the stability and not fall into our steps. When we walk, it can be narrow, and our head and our body comes with it, and we're falling into our steps. So with Tai Chi stepping, we do not. Did you know that walking is not a balance exercise? It doesn't help increase our balance. It helps our health, but it's not a balance exercise. And if you don't practice balance, it's like a muscle. You lose it. You don't use it, you lose it. So this is a great exercise for balance. And we're going to go do our Parry walking. So our feet are going to be starting out. We're going to think about 11 and 1 o'clock, and this is our 12 o'clock. So 11 and 1, we're going to shift over to one side. And if you place the heel down, short and wide again, but fade, a little off 12 o'clock, you place the whole foot. And if you step too far that your weight has to come with it, bring it shorter and wider. Now transfer the weight. We're going to take a touch in the middle. So we're really solid here. We're going to place the heel and the whole foot slightly off 12 o'clock. Really relax the weight over. Touch step so we know we're ready to straighten the knee. And there's our foot placement. When you touch, and it's almost like kissing the earth. You set it down gently. We're not in a hurry. So it develops that leg strength. If you're used to the parries, if you are used to using the arms, one hand is usually out farther than the other, and they pass each other on a slight diagonal. You roll the thumbs over to one side, and then you come straight center. Rolling the thumbs to the other side, you push and parry forward, and it's very soft, almost like feeling the softness of a piece of fur you're lifting up or a piece of silk. Very soft. And the thumbs roll to one side. Now, when people do parry and their foot is slightly angled, another thing you might see is their parries go off to the side. But it's going to go forward, even though our weight relaxes over to the side. So let's try it together. If I shift on over, my feet are slightly off 12 o'clock, I shift over, I place the whole foot. This would be your 11 o'clock. And if the foot is out, that's the hand that's on top. So we're going to drive forward center, touch in the middle and turn. That's when you turn, touch, turn. Place the whole foot at your 1 o'clock, drive forward to center. When you're balanced, touch and turn. Place the whole foot, softly kissing the earth. Touch and turn, placing the whole foot at your 1 o'clock and drive forward, and then you can close here. So let's do it one more time. It's almost like having a bottle of popcorn and filling up that leg like a sandbag, and you know you're solid with that light kiss touch of the earth, and then placing the whole foot. And you would transfer, filling up that leg so solid. You know you're balanced. You know you can hold that. So let's try it one more time. Shift over, place the foot at your 11 o'clock, and you drive forward to center about chin height, touch and turn, placing the foot if you want to. If you're used to, if you don't want to touch, you just lift the knee, straighten the knee. If you want to make it really smooth, when you know you're solid, bend the knee, straighten the knee. So you can make it so meditative and smooth. Bend the knee, straighten it. It places it right where it should be. And I hope you can feel that beautiful sense of healing and calm, sense of calm. So when I was 16, I saw this in San Francisco visiting my cousin who lived in the city. And they were doing it on Nob Hill outside of Grace Cathedral, and it was silent. And they were all cancer survivors. And it was just breathtaking. That was my one of my introductions to Tai Chi, and I just fell in love. Unfortunately, we didn't have Tai Chi in my town, and but I'm so lucky, so blessed to have found Dr. Lamb's programs. So I would love to have you use these. It's not changing the program or adding to the program. It's taking a move out of the program and using it as a stepping exercise. So hopefully this will really help you. It's fun. I have more to share if you want a part two later, um, with brush knee and part two. We can make this a part two. This kind of taking the moves and turning them into beautiful exercises that have a lot of benefit. And if your people are happy, your participants are happy and feel successful, they'll come back. And if they come back, they'll get the benefits. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Darcy. Thank you. I love that term you use, sensing feet. And I think we'll all be borrowing that, sensing the feet, sensing stability,
Yeah.
connecting with the earth. And that gives such a relaxed tone to doing any kind of walking, stepping exercise. You know, I'm in a more traditional setting today. In traditional Tai Chi classes, it was really common to do stepping when I was working on it in the 90s. We had to do stepping for maybe 20 minutes after warm-ups. Now we know that that's too much. You can overwork the joint and you can cause inflammation. But I love this gentle approach to it, yet fun and sensing and open to what's happening in the body to support what we're doing in the form, using the directional changes too. And you're right that now there's so much being written about mindful movement and the benefits of mindful movement, which are not only physical, about posture and circulation, but also relaxation, emotional balance, uh, uh, lulling our sensory patterns. Peter Wayne says something in his book on the Harvard Guide to Tai Chi and Qigong. He makes a comment about how when we do these gentle rocking motions, we should remember that the human body is 80% water, and that if we're working slowly and rocking, changing weight, it has to be lulling, just like it is rocking a baby in a rocker. That's why babies are lulled by it, he proposes. It's an interesting thought. So it's a very comforting, relaxing exercise, and you can incorporate breathing. You can incorporate starting to introduce your own participants into when they're storing energy, when they're giving out energy. Uh, Thank you for planting all these new ways to look at it and breaking it down into these parts.
We do a greeting, a Tai Chi greeting.
Mhm.
Thank you. Okay, so here we go. And if one, two, three. Okay, great. Thank you for that. And that's wonderful. And let's just have a quick word to wrap up from Yvonne and Philip, if you'd like to share. Go ahead, Yvonne.
Yes, thank you, Evan. We had a nice discussion about what Darcy said, this grounding also and this awareness of the stepping, that and the difference that was Pat telling after the difference of this walking. A lot of people think Tai Chi is slowly walking, just that. But Tai Chi is more. Tai Chi is aware, conscious weight shifting with a lot of awareness, with a lot of breathing, and that gives the effects for all the benefits we get from the Tai Chi practice. So that we discussed, and that the grounding in the earth for making the stepping, that this energy, this delivering of energy. We had a very nice discussion about that, and everybody could bring practical out of the classes, practical experience. That was great. Thank you.